Hey guys, Stacy here with Emergent Tree, bringing you another strategy that you can use with your kids at home. And the strategy I'm going to talk to you about today is a strategy called a daily schedule. Probably not a new concept, but I want to give you some really good thoughts and ideas of how to set up a successful one. For me, this is one of the first things I put in place when I began to realize and hear the news that we were going to be at home together for an extended period of time. Maybe like many of you, I knew I was going to have to continue to work at home. And so I wanted to have something that could keep my kids engaged and growing and thinking while saving and reserving some time for me to really focus on the work tasks I had to get done. That way, at the end of the day, I could really wrap up, be done, and focus and give my kids my full attention. So before I show you the strategy we set up for our family, I want to give you 4 important tips to think about when you're setting up your own schedule. The first thing I want you to think about is when you're selecting activities and tasks for your schedule, you have to select tasks that are at your kids' independent functioning level, meaning things that don't require you to teach them something new or to help them put it in place, but something they already can access and know how to do. That will allow them to move forward independently and really feel successful at that particular task. The next thing to think about is what we in schools call alternating preferred and non-preferred tasks. So every other task or every other activity that you have in your schedule should be something they really like to do. It can be a game or go outside and play, or it could even be their favorite subject. If your kids really like to read or do some art, those can be their preferred. And alternating in between these preferred activities, between art and going outside and playing, is maybe something that's not their favorite, like complete some of those math activities or write a letter, something that's maybe a little more challenging or less fun for them. That way, when they're doing those tasks that aren't their favorite, that are maybe a little more difficult or not preferred, they have the very next task to look forward to kind of draw them through. Once I'm done with this, I can get to that art activity. So alternating non-preferred and preferred can be really beneficial when building your schedule. The third thing to think about is set up all the materials needed to get through the entire day ahead of time. One of the things we did is we pulled out our computers, we set them up on an old computer, and my husband bookmarked every resource or website that they'd be accessing, made sure the login credentials were in there and saved or written down so that our kids could get on the computer and access them themselves and really become independent on that. Even our 5-year-old knows how to get on the things he needs to do during his tasks. There's just a handful of them, but he can do that by himself and not have to have us coming in every 30 minutes or so to get him up on a new website or a new activity. And then the last one I want you to think about is putting some checkpoints throughout the day where your kids can set some goals, reflect on them, and put some self-rewards in place for them if they meet their goals. The way we've done it is at our morning snack, our afternoon snack, and at our lunch. And this is a time when I pause from my work, maybe I get a snack myself, and I interact with them about their goals. So they work through their schedule, and then at morning snack, we reflect back and we say, well, how do we do on all of these things? And if they agree and I agree that y'all went through it really well, you did everything you were asked to do, there wasn't bickering, mommy didn't have to get in the middle of a fight and solve all your problems for you, then there's a self-reward during that time. We've put in 15 minutes of choice time where you can choose what you want to do. If it's get on Kid Messenger or get on your favorite game on your iPad or your Kindle, or even if it's just relax and watch a TV show, you can do that during these 15 minutes when you've met your goal. And if you haven't really met your goal, then it's a predetermined task that we're asking you to do, like maybe read a book, or your choices are just much more limited of what you do during that time. It's not choice time. And that allows them not only to kind of incentivize themselves to really do a good job, but it also requires them to reflect throughout the day, at least 3 times a day, on how they're doing with some guidance from mommy. By putting these things in, you can really have a successful day with a reasonable amount of independence, leaving you to focus on the things that you have to do if you're working from home, or even if you're not working from home, just so that you can keep some structure and some harmony throughout the day. Here's an example of the schedule that I've put together for my family. You'll see that across my 3 kids, I have a lot of tasks that are happening at the same time, like you 3 get together and play a board game, but at other times they're rotating. When I'm having them, they're still enjoying their piano practice, so they rotate that time between chores, and now they're doing different stuff. And of course, the quiet time right after lunch is always an important one. Giving them some time to rest, some time apart from each other. And once these schedules get on a routine, there's really no more conversation or fighting about, do I really have to do this? Because just like in school, the answer is yes, we do it every day. That's our schedule, Monday through Friday. Once they get into the routine of it, it'll really become normalized and something they just walk through on their own. Hope that's helpful for you. Hope it gives you some great ideas on how to build your own schedule. I know mine's long from 8 to 4 because I really am working those hours. Maybe you just want to put a schedule in place from like 9 to 11 or from 10 to 2. Whatever works for you. This is a time when you have to do what's best for your family. So don't feel like you have to do it exactly like we have or like I have in our family. But use the tips, the 4 suggestions to help you build a great schedule that works for the needs of your particular family.